Ralph Nathan Irish started the Iron Irish Coal Company in 1921.
My grandfather, as a young boy, was deserted by his father, and he, as a very young man, had to support his family. He started working in the coal business in Syracuse and ended up coming to Buffalo and started the Iron Irish Coal Company.
Ralph started that system of delivered to your bin and bags because during that time, from the 1920s up till wartime, there was an awful lot of men looking for work.
The trucks would come loaded with these humongous amounts of coal. They used to have to then shovel it into bags, and then they used to have to go when they would deliver, and they would have almost like conveyor belts, like it would come off, and then they would have to dump it into bins at the house. So it was very labor intensive.
It was a way to give a lot of people a lot of work and a way to build a business on a little different take that people liked, and so it was very successful.
His formative years had a big impression on him. He was a very responsible person, looked out for everyone, great guy, wonderful man, and my father absolutely loved him and just lost him when he was way too young. He was 13 years old when he died from a heart attack, but he made a very big impression on him, very big impression.
My father took over the coal business and delivered coal for many years. It was very hard work. He used to come home at night exhausted. He would be covered in coal, and they worked very hard to maintain that business, but as you know, coal went out of style and they moved on to different types of energy, so he started the welding business.
My grandfather, Bob Irish, took a coal business that went belly up and basically built the business into what it is today. I think he did that through hard work, happiness, and family. He was kind of a larger-than-life type individual.
I think it was just a natural transition from the coal business to the welding gas business. I think he saw an opportunity with, the economics that were going on to kind of hop into and transition into that business.
Well, we had no choice. It isn't as though Bob took a big chance because the coal business was disappearing right in front of our eyes, no matter how hard we tried.
Our dad, that's the one thing that he really learned early on, and that is you have to continue to evolve. You can't stay the same. And constantly looking to add on new lines and to continue to change and evolve over time. And he learned that lesson at a very early age.
If you look at the process of what we did with the companies, welding and propane, and then carbonic, which is beverage, cylinders. And in welding you have cylinders, in propane you have cylinders, and in carbonic you need CO2 for the fizz in your pop and your beers, so it's in cylinders.
Bob and I were having a dinner. As we sat there, Bob said, "You know what I think I'm going to do?" He said, "I think I'm going to propose that some of these lift trucks in these warehouses use propane. It's non-toxic, BTU's better." And he said, I see a path here that might work out really well.
That's what you see strapped on the back of the forklifts. He really created that segment for us, realizing that there's a need for that with all the people in Buffalo. And to this day we have trucks that run those routes and exchange those tanks. Customers we've had for 40 or 50 years.
I don't know of anyone that was doing that before he did that.
My father got in there and figured out what he needed to do, but at the same time he had my mother right next to him. Side by side they built that company, our company, to what it is today.
She set up the systems and processes that the company still uses today. Basic core principles she instilled upon that business. Because my grandmother did all this groundwork for the business and continued to be so heavily involved in it with all their girls growing up, I think she set an example for her daughters. If Marcia had stayed home as a stay-at-home mother, I'm not sure my aunts and my mother would be as independent as they are.
I think that my parents treated 5 girls like they would have treated 5 boys.
Having the girls there all those years, working with him, when he died, they knew so much about that business and had been there so long and worked with him so long. It was just seamless.
You know, he left the business to his 5 daughters, and his 5 daughters had different attributes and credentials that put them in the positions that they are in today, and they're definitely ahead of their time. Women that actually truly run the business.
Well, you know, there's a way of learning about the world in that you look at your blessings. If you haven't experienced the lows, you won't appreciate the highs.
In the grand scheme of things, win-win-win in our family means that our employees and our vendors, our customers and our family together all are successful. And that's forming a cohesive and a successful business needs all those parts to be successful.
So really what people sign up for when they're signing up with Irish is our service, the way we answer the phone, the way our drivers communicate with customers, the way our accounts receivable communicates with customers, management. They're buying all kinds of different things from us, so it's a lot more than just purchasing a product in bulk and delivering it in a smaller scale.
You've got some insight on what's going on in other people's heads, and I think it's a really big advantage when you're trying to steer a big business and trying to, you know, be successful in the long run.
We're not selling these customers, we're partnering with them. And that word to me is most important, is that we're partnering.
Having a vision of the future is imperative to the next generation being able to be successful.
We don't want to be the generation that the business fails under, I can tell you that much. So, you know, we're working hard, we're innovating. We're always trying to use technology to make the business more efficient. We're hiring great people, I can tell you that much. That's been one of the key things. We just really try to add intelligent, hardworking, futuristic people to the companies.
I think the story of our family and where this business started, how it's evolved, to this day, what we stand for. The people that do business with us, you know, they were going to know that they could rely on us. I don't think that we're ever going to lose that family aspect in what we do.
Oh, I'm very optimistic. I think they're dedicated. I think they want to make it work. I think they have the ability to make it work. And I think on the other side of that, I think they have a ton of challenges. But I think that they have all the ability to achieve that.
Well, I would like to go on record as saying I think I am one of the luckiest, most blessed women in the world. I've had it all. God has been so good to me. And I'm still, look at me, 91 years old, aches and pains, but I have a family to die for.